Okay, before you spend money on the iPhone 18 Pro, there are a few things you really need to know. And no, I'm not talking about the usual stuff. Not the new color, not another faster chip claim, not another tiny design change. I'm talking about the things that could make you buy this phone in September and regret it a few weeks later. Because right now, the iPhone 18 Pro looks impressive on paper. But once you start putting the numbers together, some of them are actually hard to defend. I've got 20 reasons here, and I'm saving the one that bothers me most for later. Because when you put that number next to the rumored price, the whole phone starts looking very different. So let's start with something simple. Reason 1, the iPhone 17 Pro starts at $1099. The iPhone 18 Pro is being estimated around $1299, and some estimates go as high as $1399. Think about that. That is a possible $200 to $300 jump in 1 year. At $1399, you are not casually upgrading anymore. You are thinking about it. You are checking trade-in values. You are asking yourself if your current phone is really that bad. And for most people, it probably isn't. Reason 2, this one would annoy me. Imagine Apple raises the price by $200 or $300 and still gives you the same 256 GB starting storage. No jump to 512 GB. No extra storage to soften the price increase. Same base storage. Higher bill. Would that feel okay to you? Because at $1399, I would expect Apple to give something back. Reason 3, the iPhone 18 Pro is still expected around 6.3 inches. The basic shape stays familiar. The camera area stays big. So if you are upgrading because you want something that looks completely new, this may not be that phone. You could spend well over $1,000, put a case on it, and from a few feet away, most people may not even know which Pro you have. Reason 4, this one matters. Apple is rumored to be saving a much bigger visual change for the 20th anniversary iPhone in 2027. So now ask yourself, do you really want to spend $1,300 or $1,400 1 year before the phone that may get the bigger redesign? That is a dangerous place to upgrade, because the 18 Pro could be the phone you buy right before the one you actually wanted. Reason 5, we have heard under-display Face ID rumors for years. This time, the island may get smaller. Good, but gone. Probably not. One leak points to around 13.5 millimeters, down from about 20.7 millimeters. That is a nice reduction, but it is still there. So if you were waiting for a clean, full-screen iPhone, you may be waiting again. Reason 6, the camera is expected to get variable aperture. That sounds serious, and yes, it could help. But remember the size of the iPhone camera sensor. This is still a phone. You are not suddenly getting full-frame camera depth of field. Apple may make a huge deal about the lens opening and closing on stage. In daily photos, the difference may be much more subtle. Useful? Maybe. A reason alone to spend $1399? I'm not convinced yet. Reason 7, the new camera system is expected to cost Apple much more. Some estimates put parts of it around 50% more expensive than before. That is great if the camera is dramatically better. But if Apple passes that extra cost to you, you are paying for it. And this year, Apple already has plenty of other expensive parts inside the phone. That brings us to the next problem. Reason 8, the phone is still expected to have 12 GB of RAM. Same capacity, but the cost of that memory could be much higher. One estimate puts 12 GB of RAM going from around $39 to $145. That is a huge jump. But look at it from your side. Are you getting 3 times more RAM? No. You may simply be paying more because memory is expensive. That is not an exciting upgrade. That is a supply problem landing on your bill. Reason 9, same story. A 256 GB storage component has been estimated to move from around $13 to $51. Again, your phone does not suddenly have 4 times more storage. The part just costs Apple more. And if Apple decides not to absorb that cost, you will. Reason 10, one estimate puts the iPhone 17 Pro's component cost around $582. The iPhone 18 Pro, around $726. That is roughly a 25% increase. Now you can see why these $1299 and $1399 price estimates keep appearing. There is a real cost problem. But as a buyer, that still leaves you with the same question. Why should you pay for Apple's component problem? Reason 11, a 20 Pro is expected to use a 2nm of process. That is real progress. TSMC talks about roughly 10 to 15% more speed at the same power, or around 25 to 30% lower power at the same speed. Sounds great. But when you open WhatsApp, Instagram, Safari, you probably will not sit there saying, wow, that 2nm really changed my day. For normal use, speed stopped being the problem years ago. Efficiency matters more. And that leads to one of the biggest concerns with the smaller Pro. But I'm saving that for later. Reason 12, Apple's new C2 modem is expected. On paper, that should mean better efficiency and stronger connection handling. But modems are one of those things where I want real testing. Give me 1 bar of signal. Give me a hot day. Give me 5G. Give me an hour of maps. Then tell me how much battery is left. Until we see that, C2 is still a promise. Reason 13, more advanced satellite data could be one of the coolest features. But people need to calm down a little. This does not automatically mean full-speed internet in the middle of nowhere. Countries matter. Carriers matter. Plans matter. Apps matter. Speeds matter. You may get useful data when normal signal disappears. That is great. But do not buy a $13.99 phone thinking you are getting Starlink in your pocket with no limits. Reason 14, the phone is also expected to get Apple's new N2 wireless chip. Okay, what does that actually improve? We do not have a clean answer yet. So until Apple shows something useful, better hotspot, better AirDrop, more stable Bluetooth, N2 is just another new chip name. And I would never spend more money because a chip name changed from N1 to N2. Reason 15, Apple may simplify camera control. The touch-sensitive layer could go away. Some haptic hardware could go away. Pressure sensing stays. Now, some people may actually prefer that, simpler button. Fewer accidental swipes, fine. But think about the weird part. The phone may cost more while Apple removes hardware from one of its new controls. That is going to create an argument. Reason 16, the rumored colors are dark cherry, light blue, dark gray, and silver. No strong black option in the current rumor set. Now, color is personal, but a lot of people buy black because it is easy. Easy case matching, easy resale, easy to live with for 3 years. If Apple drops that again, some buyers are going to be annoyed. Dark cherry may look amazing, but it may not be everybody's phone. Reason 17, this is one of the smartest reasons to wait. The regular iPhone 18 is expected around spring 2027, not September. So Apple may put you in a strange position. You want the newest generation in September. Your main normal option could be the Pro, and Pro means more money. If you do not care about the advanced camera, why not wait 6 months? You may get the newer generation without paying Pro prices. Reason 18, this is where the lineup gets awkward. The Pro Max is rumored to get a much bigger battery improvement, so Apple may once again make the smaller phone the compromise. You want the easier size? Fine. You give up the serious battery jump. You want the battery? Buy the giant phone. I know a lot of people hate that choice. And now we get to the number I saved. Reason 19, yeah, 36 mAh. The iPhone 17 Pro is around 4252 mAh. The iPhone 18 Pro is rumored around 4288 mAh in the US. That is less than 1% bigger. Less than 1%. Now put that beside the price rumor. Possible $200 to $300 increase. Battery itself, almost the same size. That is the part I think people are going to fight about. Apple's answer will be efficiency, 2nm chip, better modem, better display. All fair, and real battery life matters more than the mAh number. I agree. But at $13.99, wouldn't you want both? Better efficiency and a meaningfully bigger battery? Because the Pro Max may get exactly that. Its battery is rumored around 5567 mAh, up from roughly 5088 mAh. That is almost 500 mAh more. Roughly 9 to 10%. So look at the difference. Smaller Pro, about 36 mAh more. Pro Max, almost 500 mAh more. That makes the smaller Pro a much harder sell if battery is your priority. And finally, reason 20, this is the one Apple cannot put on a slide. Maybe you have a 16 Pro, maybe a 17 Pro, maybe even a 15 Pro. Ask yourself what is actually wrong with it. Is it slow? Probably not. Is the camera bad? Probably not. Does it still get through your day? Probably. So if Apple asks you for $12.99 or $13.99, the 18 Pro has to fix a real problem for you. Not give you another benchmark. Not give you another color. Not shrink the dynamic island a few millimeters. A real problem. Maybe you need the new camera. Maybe you need better satellite connection. Maybe a 20 Pro battery efficiency turns out to be incredible. Then fine, upgrade. But if you are only buying because September came around and there is a new iPhone, I would wait, especially this year, because the smaller Pro may cost hundreds more while the battery itself barely grows, and the really big redesign may be sitting only 1 year away. So before you hit buy, ask yourself one question. If Apple puts $13.99 on that screen, what does the iPhone 18 Pro have to do that your current phone cannot? If you have a clear answer, buy it. If you have to think about it for 5 minutes, maybe Apple just gave you reason number 21 not to upgrade.